So for my civics engagement video, I decided to go to a few court cases at the Kent Regional Justice Center. I also went to the Kent School District Board meeting down at the district office, and I also went to a Kent City Council meeting down at Kent City Hall, and I believe it was the Chamber Conference meeting room. I chose to go to a few court cases down at the Kent Regional Justice Center because I've always been interested in like criminology and just kind of like their mindset and why they do these kind of things, but I know that wasn't really explained through some of the court cases. But I also like to watch shows like Law and Order SVU, so I've always been interested in how the court system deals with these kind of criminals. I think it's super important that criminals go through a court system because I don't want criminals out, in my neighborhood doing bad things, but I also believe that criminals shouldn't be charged, for doing something they didn't do, and that justice needs to be served for them and for the people. I chose to go to the Kent City Council meeting because I've actually always wanted to go. There was actually an issue with the stoplight over by my house that me and my mom always wanted to address the city because we want it fixed, and that's the perfect place to go do it, is a city council meeting. People in our city, come to the city council meeting with problems or issues, but they're also coming there for, knowing what's going on in the city and what they're planning to do with the money that the city has. I think it's super important to have these meetings because, the people of this city deserve to know what's going on, deserve to hear, what these people in charge are going to do to our city, and we have a voice to tell them yes or no if we agree. And the last event I chose to do for my civics project was to go to a Kent School District Board meeting. I chose to go to this meeting because I knew with the new bond that passed for the district, I wanted to know if and what money was going to go towards our school, because I know they were going to be talking about it because it just recently happened. I think it's super important to have these board meetings, especially with this new bond passing, because it gives a chance for parents, families, and community members, because taxpayers are paying for this bond, to go and know what's going on and where their money is being used towards with the bond. On November 11th, I went to a few court cases down at the Kent Regional Justice Center. The first court case I went to was one on a DUI, and a state patrol officer was testifying for the case. Then I went downstairs to view a few criminal cases. A few were on sexual assault, some were for stealing cars, and it was just the judge giving them their sentence for that. The impact of the court cases on this community is knowing how these criminals are being treated to help keep our community safe. The significance of the court cases was knowing as a member of society how the city and the state is dealing with these criminals and what kind of charge they're being charged. On November 1st, I attended a Kent City Council meeting down at the Kent City Hall in the Chamber Conference Room. That night at that meeting, they talked a lot about a new apartment complex that they were planning to build to improve the economy down in Kent. They also had a lot of people speak at the meeting, a lot about the environmental issues and how they want to get rid of plastic bags. Also, a few about the firework ban and how they want the city to pay more money towards the Lake Meridian fireworks show in July. The impact on the community for the Kent City Council meeting is knowing how the taxpayer money is being used in the city, and also knowing how our board members of the city, what they are doing to better our society. On November 8th, I attended a Kent School District Board meeting down at the Kent School District office. They talked about the approval for final acceptance for the BPCI earthworks, and they also talked a lot about the bond and how excited they were moving forward with that. They also had a little segment for National American Indian Heritage Month, and they had a few Native Americans speak and perform for the board. The significance of the school board meeting is keeping the community involved and informed about what's going on in the district, especially with the new bond that has passed and how they're going to spend that new money, and also with the board and how they're being involved within our school. After attending all 3 of my civic events, I think the biggest civic impact that all 3 of them had, especially the meetings, were keeping the community informed. I believe that these meetings are put into place so that you have a place to voice your opinions, either to the school district or to your city itself, voicing, what you want to see change in our community, what you want to see happen. Also, I think they're in place there to keep you informed. It's your duty to go to these meetings so that you do stay informed about what's going on in our community. And if you don't agree with something, there's your chance to voice your opinions. The overall civic impact of this project, I think for me personally, was knowing how I can get involved with my community, how I can be an active member of this society and do my civic duty as a citizen of this country, as a citizen of this state, as a citizen of this community, and what I can do to make a change for the better of myself and for the better of my community.